My name is Joey Donovan Gaido, and I run a series of programs called GUTS, and the acronym, it means Getting Under the Surface. So I've got some for general public, but as you'll see, I'm a caregiver, so I've developed one for caregivers as well. Hopefully today's program and the material I'm going to share with you guys can help, and it's, I think, also heal a little bit as well, hopefully. Hi, come on in. So we're going to start off with a fairly specific topic of anxiety, worry, and fear. And I always like to tell a lot of stories because I think stories are easier to remember, and they're all real life stories. They're not made up. So my path to the reason why we're all in this room together today started in 1998 when I almost died from something called Crohn's disease. So I went from kind of the weight I am now to 115 pounds. And for quite a while, didn't know what was wrong, couldn't eat, couldn't work. And one of the things that really helped me bounce back from that was meditation. I was going to a chiropractor. His name was Dr. Khalsa. And he said, "You need to listen to this tape." Back then there were tapes, cassette tapes. And so I did, and it was something called the Sedona method, which is still around. And I listened to that, and I was meditating for like 90 minutes a day somehow. And I remember when I started, I could not sit still for 5 minutes. And within a 6 to 12 month period, I had to set a timer to kind of come out of the meditation and back into my day. So it's very interesting how that happened. And then fast forward to 2017, those in-between years, I kind of had plateaued. I was still meditating. I was still interested in mindfulness, but wasn't really practicing or making a lot of progress in those years. So in 2017, on my birthday, my wife got hit with fibromyalgia. So we were actually on a trip, on a family vacation for the holiday. And that night, she was paralyzed. Just in bed, couldn't move, and we didn't know what was going on. So there were ER visits and hospital visits and emergency care and all that stuff. And so this is going on for a few weeks now and then turned into a few months. And I'm having all this anxiety and worry. And by the way, I look at fear kind of as the root of anxiety and worry, because there's a little bit of ambiguity around what is anxiety, what is worry, what is fear. But I think they all kind of feed into that fear feeling. And you'll hear me talk about all three of those, but I try to stick with just fear. But I was having fear of the future. Is this going to pass? Is she going to die? Are we going to be okay? And just incredible worry about just the present moment. What do I do as her husband? And we've got 2 children as well. And so this was kind of all going on. And about 3 months in, I used to drink bourbon. I used to have 1 shot of bourbon. That was it. I was never a drinker. And then I noticed, though, I became the cook. When you become the caregiver, you are caring not just for the person, but also for the house, for the shopping, for the cooking. It can become very intensive, right? And so I was cooking, and I'm not a cook. I'm no Bobby Flay. I cook really well now, but I don't like to cook. So one night I was cooking, and there was this bourbon, and I had my 1 shot of bourbon, and then all of a sudden it was a 2nd shot, and then before I knew it, I had drank about a third of the bottle. And I'm a lightweight, I'm a pretty small guy, and within an hour I was inebriated and got sick and decided then and there that this was not the way that I was going to cope with being a caregiver, with having a sick spouse. So what did I do? And that's what this whole workshop is about, what I've learned, what I've been doing, how I came from that to where I'm at. And things are not perfect. I don't have everything solved. But I've taken what could have become a really negative addiction and learned ways to take care of myself with mindfulness, meditation, self-care, and also the relationship I have with my family, but also the one I have with myself.